This is some new age crazy things. I saw this viral photo of this woman. She was paralyzed. She couldn't move. She had a chip implanted through Neuralink. She was able to write her name, Audrey, just using her mind telepathically. Maybe it will be so advanced that even regular people want to use it.
It definitely goes into the conspiracy territory.
Imagine you wouldn't even need to learn any language anymore because you just have the chip inside of your brain.
That's what happens in the Matrix.
Look at my finger. I gotta hide those two fingers in the camera
Because
so
of
no
your
one can
nails?
see them. Yeah, look at that.
People will not notice this.
Of course they will notice. You don't know, the internet noticed everything. They can find any person anywhere. Don't you remember this guy that went viral?
Which-
The CEO. The CEO that got caught cheating.
Ah,
Like, it doesn't take a day and the whole internet knows exactly where he works, what he does. The internet is crazy.
But
There's the biggest FBI.
well, it's because there's so many people just wanting to, probably girls most, like, oh, this dude, he was cheating on this.
Well,
And they were like
rightfully
crazy.
so.
No, I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's obviously like girls normally are the ones who feel more affected by this. And they're like, I need to make justice for my girl.
It's true. I would do the same. I
Huh?
mean, I always said, like, this is truthfully karma at the end of the day.
There's this documentary. I think the documentary is called Don't Mess with Cats or something like that.
I saw it
It's
was on
on
Netflix, no?
Yeah. And the premise is that there was this dude that uploaded videos killing cats. And so...
Oh, yeah, I remember. Mhm.
And this was back in the day where, yes, there was internet, but it was not so crazy with social media and all of this shit.
Mm.
Like, I think they used like something that it was like Reddit, and they just started to like track him
Investigate.
down, and it took years. And he even, this
Yeah,
person
I
even
remember,
killed some,
remember.
like a human being or
Oh,
something.
did he? I don't remember.
Yeah, and
that.
it was like some Russian weird or some, I don't remember,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's crazy because they helped tracking him down.
Anyway, welcome to the Underachiever Show. Today is another day with us, the Underachievers, talking about nonsense that no one really cares about and also won't get you any further in life. So,
Amen.
amen. As for today, it always starts to get difficult once you become a host and then turn into just switching, talking normally, you know?
Yeah.
It's like
you
I have
feel
two
weird?
personalities at the same time. I'm being a host for the show, and then at the same time, I'm just reverting back to talking. But we did actually thought about an interesting topic. I saw this viral photo of, I think she was, how do you call that in English? When you're paralyzed. And there was this
I
woman.
think there's a specific, well, I don't know what kind of like, but yeah, there's.
She
is it
was
the word?
paralyzed. She couldn't move.
Okay.
She couldn't do anything.
Fine.
And because she had a chip implanted through Neuralink, she was able to write in paint, I think it was paint, her name, Audrey,
Just using her mind, no?
just using her mind telepathically. And I thought, wow, imagine, this is some new age crazy thing. This is something you would think about, I don't know how many years ago.
Like in the,
Can you imagine that we're already we're getting into this,
Yeah.
you know?
it's where, but I think we will eventually at some point get into these things. Maybe not as fast as some people think, like slowly.
Mhm.
I don't know also how many people got this Neuralink like thing.
I actually didn't research much at all about Neuralink. That's why it's a bit unfortunate. I could not give so many details to the whole topic in itself. But I guess that's okay because we're
Yeah.
underachievers anyway.
We're just gonna be identified always with this.
Yeah, I mean, no. Anyways, but I was thinking just in a broader term, I don't know exactly how many people have it, but obviously it's firstly used for people that have physical or mental instabilities.
Impediments.
Impediments?
Instability sounds like you're taking a shot at that.
No, okay. Wow. Sorry, my English is not that good. Impediments then. Or some, physical mental restrictions based on their birth, genetics, or accidents or whatever happened, no? So, now I saw this woman and I thought, wow, it's so crazy because just, I don't know, even when you were a child, the thought of doing things telepathically just seemed like a Orwellian or like just some kind of sci-fi story that doesn't even seem to be real. And we're just in the beginning of it.
When I was little and when I was not so little, like younger, like a teenager, but I always thought about this thing of like, it would be cool just to play a video game only with my mind. I was like,
how would you even do that?
I don't know.
Because
I mean, I guess it's just like
how would
information.
you even play a video game in your mind? It's like visualizing it?
No, not in your mind. I mean, I guess you could do that at some point, but just like with your mind. So instead of just having a controller, you could just with your mind.
No, I know, but then you would have to
No, you can have a screen.
Visualize maybe the next action.
You mean like okay.
You would visualize how your figure moves, no?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
In reality.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't think this through.
No, I did think about it, but I was always thinking like, yeah, but how? Like how actually, like, is there, because you would have to program something for your brain to have send some kind of signal, and that signal is taken by that computer and the device and it's read and registers something that is very specific, no?
I mean, when you think about it, I don't know exactly even how Neuralink works. I really have to actually look into this because, it's unfortunate. I want to talk about this topic and I didn't even research nothing about it. It's ridiculous.
How many men do you have watching your video, like percentage?
50-50.
50-50?
I think it's 50-50. No, I think on YouTube I have more females than men. Yeah.
Okay, then
it's
they're
like
not
80-20.
So they're not gonna relate. But
we need to get more male viewers on this channel. So
no. It doesn't matter. Maybe they can just laugh about the things that men think. But it's like when I was like a teenager and I was playing FIFA. You know, like the game, the football game.
I know.
I always got mad because you can control like one player at a time, and you have buttons that do other things with other players, but it's not precise. So they always like. You could see how your defenders would be not doing what you wanted, and you would get angry because they were not defending correctly. And I was always thinking, if you could play with your mind and you could control all of them at the same time, then I would be undefeatable. Yeah,
but then everyone could do that. Then what is it? It's just a game of mind.
Yes, but it would be precise. Like you would have all these options.
But only if the computer game would read it precisely.
Well, but that's kind of like what they're trying to do anyway.
But I don't know how the Neuralink in itself works. It's probably, I think the chip probably, well, obviously it's like a part in your brain, right? They put it that then through magnetic fields of something probably are able to stimulate certain parts of your brain. I would think so, because in order to do something, certain parts of your brain have to be used, no?
I don't know how it works, but it's probably some kind of electrical impulse that the brain signals and that it reads it in certain way or whatever. I have no idea also.
Yeah, I don't even know what we're talking about.
We just know it's cool. It's a chip in your head, and then you do things with it.
It is cool, but it also has the side effects of, imagine, at least for now, there's a lot of people that probably have impediments would use it. But maybe it will be so advanced at some point that even regular people want to use it because you have skills that, like, you can do certain things with it.
Maybe at some point it will be like even like teenagers, since now everybody, even children, have phones. At some point
just
people will
implanting chips in your brain.
It's a bit weird.
It's a bit crazy.
From our perspective, but in the future, like if you ask somebody that is 80, would they even think about today's phones or smartphones and so on? They don't.
But then it's like, there is there's always these double sides of the sword, no? Like the two coins.
The two sides of the coin.
Two sides of two.
Two sides of the coins. So 4 sides.
Two sides of one coin. which is sure you're maybe able to, I don't know, like imagine you wouldn't even need to learn any language anymore because you just have the chip inside of your brain and it just already has automatically all the languages installed in your brain, which would be so helpful.
That's what
Sure.
happens in the Matrix, in the movie that I showed you, that you probably don't remember anything about.
What happened in the Matrix again?
So you don't remember.
Kind of.
So maybe you remember this scene where they go into the Matrix, like they are connected. You got disgusted by this thing that they were connected through the back. And they go into this dojo and they
Dojo?
start... Yeah.
Where they fight, no?
Yeah, but he doesn't know, but then he gets uploaded the kung fu into his mind. and then he starts to- Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I always think also sometimes that what a couple of these big Hollywood movies anyway are put into, I don't know, the public sphere for you to to prepare you for what is going
Yeah.
to come next.
Yeah, this is the entering the...
It's not a conspiracy. Like
it is in a way.
In the US, you can even look at it. I think it's
Yeah,
the
the
Pentagon.
FBI
No,
and
no. Pentagon is invested in Hollywood. You can
Yes.
read it on their website that
No,
they
I know. But also...
participate in, and obviously when you're invested in it, you have a say about in which way movies can be portrayed or even ideas that comes from.
No. I know that movies move like social change, or at least it
For
plants
sure.
ideas in your mind.
Or just to make you get used to certain ideas.
No, I know, but it definitely goes into the conspiracy territory. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying it goes into that realm.
But there's nothing conspiratorial about it because
No, because normally people tend to say like, no, it's just people are trying to put these ideas in our mind to control us and so on.
I'm not
and-
saying they're trying to control as in, oh, they have now total control over you. Every sort of information, no matter it's books, movies, music, friends, news, every sort of input you get can influence you. And everyone knows that. And people would use these things to their own benefit in certain ways.
I mean,
Like
I
it is
actually
very-
agree with you. It's not that I'm saying that they don't do that, because I already acknowledge that they do that, not even with movies. They just do it with education, for example,
That's
the government.
true.
Like whatever you think and you learn in primary school is just because the government wants you to understand it.
Well, what they consider important basic knowledge, no?
Yeah,
Let's
it's like
say.
I saw this documentary or maybe like a podcast where somebody was saying that there's nothing more strange in terms of education than geography, because it's more propagandistic than anything, because it's literally
Geology?
geology.
Why?
Like geography, sorry, because it's putting in your mind the idea that you belong to a certain place and like to a certain type of people, and there are these frontiers that divide you from others, and that already puts in your mind like this identity that you form
But
part
there
of a
is an
country. and so-
identity still. There are cultural and genetical, if you want to say so, differences.
Yeah, you could just apply that to basically anything. You could say like, oh, I am just different to my neighbors that live 2 streets away. If I implant in the mind of people
Right.
that there is a division.
Instead of borders, a nation, let's say, and you just plant into, oh, you're a different household than your neighbors.
Yeah, the principle is the same. It's just like it's just different. No, it's more. This is, let's say, an extreme example, but just to understand that they put imaginary borders in things, and there might be reasons why these borders exist. But I was just.
I mean, through history, just basically through conquering.
Yeah. But I was just saying that somebody was making this argument, and I thought it was interesting because it does kind of make sense. Now, you from very little in Mexico, for example, you are taught of like how Mexico was bigger and then lost territory to the US. And then this frontier is Mexico, and you feel identified with it and with the culture inside it. And, you know, everybody else is foreign, and you know, but
I mean, that's the thing we already talked about this, that I sometimes don't have this national. This most striking to me was the fact that when I was in school or university and growing up in Germany, I learned a more Marxist kind of economy.
like socialist.
So yeah, like you would learn the economy more based on these, the Marxist teaching, no?
Yeah, like
Communism, and in general, this would be more taught in school than
like
you
the
would,
welfare system and like
yeah,
social
the social aspect of it and the
justice
reason
and-
why it's implemented. But only when I met you, I really literally heard only about I don't know, as you said, like libertarianism and the Austrian school and certain things. And I was thinking, oh, it's so interesting. I've never got to learn about these economic concepts. No, maybe if I would specialize, I probably would have in university or at some point. But just let's say if you have basic economic in school, we did not learn this. And I thought, oh, it's crazy because, without knowing other systems or knowing other possible ways of, I don't know, having an economy, I wouldn't even really have an idea of thinking different than to what I was taught. You know what I mean?
It's funny to me because
Did you learn that in school?
no,
No? Oh, okay.
not
So-
at all. I learned
So it's
the
not
things
very-
that they wanted me to learn.
Sure, so that's what I'm saying. It's not a very common thing to necessarily learn for whatever reason they think it's not sustainable or
Yeah.
not important for people to learn that.
You know that this is a subject that I like a lot because it's very funny. Like nowadays, people tend to think that we live in the most savage and late capitalism that has ever existed, and in some ways, it's true.
What
But
do
in
you
the
mean by
majority,
most savage capitalism?
like they normally use these terms, like we live in the most savage capitalist like societies.
ruthless and
Yeah, like ruthless and so on and blah blah blah. And
like billionaires and
Yeah. No, there are billionaires and they do, have a lot of wealth and they are able to generate more wealth for themselves. But it is funny because I would say that nowadays, actually, the markets are not as free as they were in the beginning. They are more similar to what kings did back in the day with novelty. Just like it's mercantilism is just like people in power benefiting certain individuals that do certain things on a sector and they get benefited from those political powers. And nowadays that's more like the status quo than free market capitalism, for sure, because all of the economic policy that we use nowadays is derived from ideas from these economists that his name was Keynes, or it was his last name. And he was basically also the founder of the FMI, this organization that lends money to the countries and to the banks. And they also created like the World Bank also. Nowadays, we don't really have like a free market capitalism at all.
But why did we went there anyway? I don't remember how we got there. How did we ended up here?
I don't know. I don't remember.
What were we talking before about?
Before that?
Not the Neuralink.
Yeah, I remember. We were talking about how you grew up with these ideas of like more
yeah.
the welfare state and the social democracy.
Yeah, and all
blah,
I'm
blah,
trying to say is, I never was taught views of different, I don't know, there could be different views about biology, religion. No, there's many views on the same topics. That the movie we were talking about the movies that were indoctrinating people in general,
And
right?
then how they do it with school anyway.
And how they do it. Jesus. we jumped like 4 topics. So yeah, and I truthfully believe that's what's happening with movies. They're funded by the government partially, so they have an interest, and as I'm saying, a lot of times.
But what interest do they
I
have?
don't know.
They want to try to prepare you for what, so that they can implement chips in your
For
memory.
instance, you can see it. I mean, if you look a bit buffet, you can always see how you have always these war movies, and the culprits and the bad people are always the Middle Eastern people. Like for any American movie, you have
Russians.
or the Russians or the Chinese. No, I'm not saying that they might not be some kind of enemies, if you want to say so, maybe more than some Europeans, no? But it still has an effect when you see on screen, your American soldiers going into war in the Middle East. And it will still manifest a bit in the way
it will
you
leave an
see
image in your
things,
mind
you know?
for you to...
It's very subtle, and most people don't think about it, just watch a movie for entertainment, but all of this has an effect. So it's like you can't watch it, just be a bit aware that this happens. And that's what I'm saying. The same way as maybe we had The Matrix or other movies. I don't know. I mean, you know, I don't watch so many movies. I don't know so many movies.
You also don't watch any sci-fi movies.
I don't watch so many sci-fi movies. It depends, but...
You don't really like them. You like more the medieval...
I like medieval things, yeah.
Yeah, and the knights and these wars.
I do also like
some fantasy, but if it cross with this kind of topics like medieval things.
Maybe.
Like Game of Thrones and things like this.
Yeah, I do like medieval things. But regardless of that, I just
yeah, that they manipulate us with the
they manipulate.
Concentrate.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so difficult today. I ate a lot. So it can't be the food. But I'm on antibiotics.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm even more confused.
I don't think they do anything to you to confuse
They do
you.
confuse me.
You're just saying that without any proof.
No, they confuse me.
Okay, I see.
Anyway, so yeah, I was just thinking anyway, like it's crazy if at any point in time we can do things telepathically and even communicate, like with brain, just not even saying a word, what would happen?
I guess it would be normal at that point.
Oh my god. Imagine.
Like I can just send you a meme and you already see it in your mind. And then you will start laughing. Or you would say like, ugh.
It's like some of these Black Mirror movies.
They are preparing you.
It's going to be a technocratic society where just people that are very skilled in technology and all of
Not
these.
the Amish. The Amish.
The Amish? What does the Amish people have to do with
they,
that?
They don't care. They just live on their own.
That's
and
true.
They don't care about this thing.
That's how I felt when I was in my van. I literally didn't care. I didn't know COVID. I was just on the beach.
You met some of them, no?
The Amish people? Yeah, I did. It was some Amish people in Belize. Look, this is how it went. I drove with my van into the jungle of Belize. There was one hat, and they were doing these roofs out of metal with his machine. And it was his business, no? Like doing that. And honestly, I don't know if that's true, they say, but he was a bit smelly. I mean, of course, he was also living on the farm.
Yeah.
But it was not so but I was still very nice to him, no? But it was still a smell there. But nothing against the Amish. Maybe he was working, was in the jungle, right? So, and anyway, he was very nice. We had a conversation. I was asking him the way to some cave.
You didn't smell any other Amish people?
No, later on. So this was just this one incident with Isaac was his name. So anyway, so I was very nice to him and I had a conversation. I asked him a lot. So he was originally an Amish person from Canada and he went to Belize. But I think the reason why was because actually he was a bit kicked out of the community because he wasn't as traditional as some wanted him to be. So he went to Belize and he was even talking with me, I don't know, about like sex, and it felt a bit weird, no, at the time, but I was just being nice. At that time, I was with my ex-boyfriend, and after talking for an hour, even though I wanted to interview him because I just wanted to know about the traditions, because he was just talking about, for instance, that women in the Amish community, they are not allowed to have pleasure during intercourse, because it's pure because of God and the religion as well, and yeah, they are just not allowed to.
How does that work?
I don't really know. Don't ask me. I guess you just have to lay there, and maybe you can just not make the woman feel so good too. I think it's just more about the man. And then after everything, after I was talking with him and being nice to him, he said goodbye and grabbed my ass. And I was in shock in the moment.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then I told my boyfriend, like at the time, no? And then he was like approaching him and saying, hey, dude, like, no, like telling him. Anyway, so, and I felt a bit uncomfortable. And I thought, Jesus, even in the middle of the jungle with some Amish people. Anyway, but regardless of that, I mean, I respect the Amish people, even though it was very difficult to talk to them. So there was this community, I think it was called, I don't remember the name of the town.
If I look for Amish in Belize, do you think it will show?
Probably.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what happened?
So there are like two big Amish community, and there was one community that I drove into. Do you have it?
No, I'm looking.
It starts with S, I think.
Lamanai?
No.
Lamanai? No?
They were not Amish. They were Mennonites. I'm sorry. I got it all confused.
Mennonites.
Sorry. Because
I
they're not similar. They're not the same. Sorry.
the
Yeah,
same?
he was a Mennonite, not an Amish person. Sorry.
Is it not similar?
They are kind of similar, but I think there's differences in belief still.
But is it in the place that I told you? Lamanai or no?
Lemonites. Oh, I think I was there.
Just
Anyway, so yeah, they were the Mennonite. I'm sorry, I was talking about the Amish people. And it was that's what I'm saying. I just forget things, right? It's horrible. I'm trying to talk about my story, and I just can't. Anyway, so I was around the Mennonites, and they were riding in their horses, in their old. How do you call these wagons?
Yeah, the wagons.
The wagons, no? And I was so curious about how they live. But you could see outside of Belize, everything was a bit messy, a little bit as if you would go to the outskirts of Mexico, no? So people living in their straw hats or, not being so advanced. And then you drive to the Mennonite community and it's like 1800s, but modern in the 1800s. So compare, like you have these two societies. So you have Belize and they look very, a bit more messy, no? I would say in general, the streets and the way things are constructed is not so exact. It's not so detailed oriented. It's like when you go down the street in Mexico and you see the asphalt is like this, right? Or it's just painted and the cables are all out. So it's not done so properly, so organized. And then you go to the Mennonite community and you have everything way more organized. And yeah, you could just see the difference. There's really conservative Mennonites and then more liberal Mennonites as well, no? And the more liberal ones are the ones that can use cars, phones, and some electrical things to build stuff. But the really conservative ones, they don't use any of this. So that's why they ride in their horses, because of their belief. They obviously also dress in this way. It's very traditional. So the women obviously are just there for cooking, for keeping up the household. And most men, I would say, have a more physical job, like working, I don't know, building stuff or being a farmer and stuff like that. Everything you need in order to stay alive. Maybe not too fancy, but everything you need. And the funny thing is, what they do is also, when they open up businesses in their community, they are going to do different businesses in order to not to compete necessarily with each other.
Yeah,
they help each other.
I was going to ask you, like, they just like trade things, or how they still use just money, no?
They still use money.
And they trade between each other, and they also sell things outside, no? Like in Mexico, sometimes you see these people on the traffic lights selling cheese.
Yeah, and this is the only place in my life I have ever seen. Normally, when you drive around to places, it's normally, let's say, I don't want to sound racist, but it's more like brownish people on the street that sell, I don't know, whatever they have. You don't really get to see so many, I don't know, white people selling things on the street here in Mexico.
Yeah, it's also because the majority of people are just more dark skinned.
But then you drive somewhere, but the Mennonites, they don't care. You can be there and you see a little blonde boy selling peanuts or something. It's very funny. Yeah. And very hardworking people, I would say. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to talk with them so much. And obviously, a lot of them are German, Russian descendants, no? So they speak Hochdeutsch. and some of them would speak that. And I was trying to get to more information about it, but it was difficult because when I drove inside with my van into the community, obviously everyone looked at me. No, it's a pink van, and I'm a Chinese girl. And I'm driving into the Mennonites' place, and I was just like waving at them. And
were they impressed? Were they amused at all?
So there was like one person, like a father and his son, and I was trying to talk, and they were very reserved, and I could tell that they didn't had so much interest in necessarily talking to me. So I just kind of let it go, because I didn't want to force people to talk to me, even though I was very curious. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I would have really enjoyed talking to them, but I couldn't. Maybe another time. I would like to go back or meet more Amish people and Mennonites in general,
But I guess these people will never be affected by these problems of like these technologies anyway. They will just live their life there.
Which is kind of crazy because when I went there, it was really like going back in time. And then when I was driving through those communities, I was thinking, wow, it's crazy to believe that this exactly right now exists in the same time as somewhere in London, full streets of shopping and everything that you know. And I was just thinking to myself, it is so crazy that
in this exact time you have such big differences, and you're not aware when you're just living in your own place. You don't think about it, no? Like, there's actually a word, it's called sonder. It's when you realize that so many people right now living an experience it's the same way you do, no? Or in different countries. Yeah, they will never be interested in these new things that people are creating.
But then also there are just content, I guess. I'm not sure. It's like hard to measure happiness.
I remember there was like a show, one of those shows that you like, these trash TV shows of some young Amish people that wanted to go out into the regular society. So they filmed them.
Like that.
You never watched this?
No. Was it trash TV?
Yes, just like one of these not documentaries, one of these shows.
But it doesn't sound so trashy.
It's just the way that it's recorded. It's like no difference from these.
No, trash TV is when it just literally makes you
like dumber. 600 lb.
It's recorded in this way.
Yes.
Okay, I get it.
That's what I mean. What is the name of the show?
600 lbs or something.
Just like that?
I think so.
Or something like My Life as a... No, I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Everyone knows.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like this. So then they go out and they film them how they get a job or whatever.
Sounds quite interesting, though. I wonder how they would do. So that's the thing. In my life, I would like to live so many different lives. I would stay a little bit with the Amish.
You cannot.
I would stay a little bit with the Navajo people. I would stay with the people in the jungle and the Amazonas. In reality,
hunting your food. You want to hunt your food?
Well, maybe.
You want to grab a snake?
Not a snake, but with bow and arrow.
You have to eat what you have to eat. Snake or like a capybara or like a...
Capybara? Do you think they eat capybara?
They eat everything. They need to survive this jungle.
I guess if I'm in a jungle, I have to survive.
A tarantula. A crisp tarantula on fire.
I guess when you're hungry, you'll just eat it anyway.
I saw somewhere in Africa, I think they eat these tarantulas, they put it on the fire and it's crispy.
Also in Spain, in Thailand.
Yeah, and they use the fangs just like a toothpick.
Really?
Just because they're big, like tarantulas have big fangs.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Fangs are like the needle thingies, no?
Just like their teeth.
Teeth?
Every time I talk about animals, I hear these words that she thinks are concepts in the animal kingdom, but they are not.
What concepts?
Yeah, it's just that the fangs is just like the tooth that they use to put venom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's the tooth or the fingers, like the feet.
No.
Guys, I have a lot of knowledge about many different things, but animals and plants I really cannot talk with you about animals and plants.
I'm trying to get it there. I am always showing her animal things.
Yeah, I do find it interesting, but
And then she's like, "Oh, these animals do this? Oh, they're so big."
yeah, when I see certain animals and the things they can do, it's crazy. Nature's so crazy, but it's also hard to get into this topic because you don't see them much in the world, you know. It's only when you look online you can find them, but it doesn't affect your life. So
It's a choice at the end of the day. When I was young, I used to watch documentaries all the time about animals.
I did too, but I feel like nothing sticked.
Only the things about your German TV show. What was the name?
Wissen macht A.
She always tells me these random facts from the show. Those you remember.
Which is weird, no? It's very weird. I don't know why my brain works like this. I need a Neuralink chip in my brain so I can keep
I think a lot of people can relate to these things, that I'm very good at remembering things that are just useless.
You?
Yes. Like I can remember the name of characters in like TV shows, and I can remember, I don't know, thousands of names at this point of things. But then if you ask me about something that is more productive, then it's very hard for me to remember it. I don't know why that is, but it just works like that.
Yeah, it really depends with me, I think. I don't know. I don't even think about, I don't even think so much about it. Whatever I remember, I remember. What I don't remember, I don't remember. And then I relearn it, and then I have to relearn it again. I'm like this person in this movie.
Which one?
This love movie that she forgets his boyfriend.
With Adam Sandler.
Yeah,
That every day he has to make her fall in love again. And
Yeah.
so on. Do you like that movie? I don't even remember it so much.
Actually, it was a cute movie, I think.
It was in Hawaii, no?
I'm her because I just have to remember.
You're
Be
Dory.
remembered every day.
You're just Dory. Well, anyway, so for example, that's why we need these technologies to help us
To remember.
to get over this kind of thing, to enhance us. No, we don't need, but it's just funny how these technologies will
Honestly,
take us into unexpected territories.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking that imagine you have this technology and that can alternate the human body and its genetics for it to eradicate Alzheimer. I even actually had an idea about this. What if you can implant a chip somewhat like a cloud with all your memories stored on that cloud, and instead of getting Alzheimer, you could just actively remember all the memories that you ever had digitalized, and then you would just remember everything and just processing it with
like
the chip
a
in your brain.
photographic memory. No?
No, photographic memory is different. Photographic memory is when you look at something one time and you can remember it in a very picture-worthy, very
No, I know,
detailed
but
way.
I'm saying that it's...
No, I'm just talking more like it's a chip inside of your brain and it's connected to the cloud or whatever. I thought about it as a business idea. Even though I have nothing to do with tech, but, don't steal it. Go ahead and steal it.
But I don't understand.
Probably exists already.
But what is the point?
The point is, instead of getting Alzheimer, you have a chip installed into your brain, uploaded with all of the memories that you could digitalize in your life. You upload it on the cloud, and then you wouldn't forget the people around you. And that would be a good solution to solve Alzheimer, because till today, there's actually no pharmaceutical...
I think it's more complicated than that, because you would still require like a normal functioning brain.
Right, but
it is not
what
just
if this chip kind of like is installed that it gets in the right part?
At the end of the day, you still
stimulates?
need to read the information with your brain, so you somehow need to have like a regular brain. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Maybe. I mean, the brain is still working. The thing is, I don't really know exactly what is wrong.
I don't know anything.
We don't know nothing. I don't know exactly what is wrong with Alzheimer when you have Alzheimer and what
it is like a degenerative disease. No, I don't know if
because
it's like the cells of the brain just kind of like maybe they can.
Yeah.
If there is like a doctor or like somebody that knows.
Imagine they look at us and think, "Damn, these
idiots."
Hey, you can't know everything, so we're just here. We're not here to know, we're here to learn.
Yes, but we don't learn from anybody because we talk to each other.
That's why I talk to ChatGPT.
Yeah, you would spend more time with him than me.
And also, I think in general, with the rising prices, and in general, at least in the US, with the
Pretty much everywhere, but yeah.
but not in Germany, where you have to pay for your studies in school, where you have to pay, I don't know how much like so many people have to take so much student loan in order to afford it. And then it's such a crazy concept to me. And then you are going into your work and you already have like what, $80,000 in debt. Can you imagine 80,000? It's not little. You pay it off like for a long time.
I don't think it's so crazy because at the end of the day, it's an investment.
No, but it's a very bad investment. Like
maybe nowadays it is.
ROI is a very low return rate.
Yeah.
Like it takes a long time.
But I think
like imagine having 80,000, you can just invest it in the stock market, and then
yeah,
that's
if you
how
know
I
what
think
you're
now.
doing. Eventually come with solutions, and also talk about the internet. They would come up with this. Oh, but with the internet, we have these issues. And those happen, no? For example, now with the internet, there's a lot of people trying to scam you and things like this.
I was just thinking, imagine you had a chip inside of your brain and you would need some malware programs for protection. And imagine people could hack inside of your brain and figure out all of the pins you got or whatever. That would be crazy.
Yeah, but then you would have an industry that literally tries to prevent that now if it comes to that.
If you have a child, I think the best thing the child can learn in reality is just tech. At this point, it's not even being a lawyer anymore. No, we still need them. And you know what I was actually listening to? That with the AI and in general these robotics coming, is that we're going to probably have a lot of physical jobs because we're missing electricians, construction workers, because a lot of people now study, so they don't tend to go into these work fields where you do physical labor because it's paid worse. But I think it will turn around in the future because...
But it's not even. It's just like this preconception that people have because, for example, in the US, people in construction earn good money.
Yeah.
Even more so
corporate now.
People, people like work in the corporate world, sometimes they even earn less than like a plumber in the US in places like this because these are jobs that are required. But society has moved to, these other areas because you are taught to like finish school, then go to university, study something that requires a degree, and then you need that degree to work in a company, in the HR department or whatever, right? But a lot of people do that, and there's just a lot of offer and not so much demand. And the job pays not so much, but there is more demand for these other jobs that used to exist more often.
Like
construction,
plumbing, electricians, plumbers. I think they're being paid now very, very well, at least. So there's going to be a shift again. And also, I think in general, with the rising prices, and in general, at least in the US, with the...
Pretty much everywhere, but yeah.
But not in Germany, where you have to pay for your studies in school. Where you have to pay, I don't know how much like so many people have to take so much student loan in order to afford it. And then it's such a crazy concept to me. And then you are going into your work and you already have like what, $80,000 in debt. Can you imagine 80,000? It's not little. You pay it off like for a long time.
I don't think it's so crazy because at the end of the day, it's an investment.
No, but it's a very bad investment. Like
maybe nowadays it is.
ROI is a very low return rate.
Yeah.
Like it takes a long time.
But I think
like imagine having 80,000, you can just invest it in the stock market, and then that's how I think
you know what you're doing. At the end of the day, it is an investment on you.
In you.
But the problem is that in you. But the problem is that the way that the education system works normally in different countries, it doesn't seem like it's providing the actual service that people are needed to develop themselves.
A lot of people that studied something, they don't even do the job they studied.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, thinking from my point of perspective, sure, there are certain areas you need. Like if you're a lawyer, you probably need to study law. If you're a doctor, you have to go through some studies. But a lot of things like HR also, I think you could just try to apply to the company, show your skills, and after some time you could get promoted in certain areas where you excel. And you could probably get in these areas also good.
I just think
Easier.
that you need, if you're going to study something like medicine or like law and something like this, you kind of have to already have some kind of.
But you don't need that anymore soon.
No, but I mean that you already kind of, because you're going to go through these years of studying this very specific thing, and it's a bit complex medicine and laws.
But that's why I say you don't need that anymore. It's already gonna be robotics. Have you seen those robots that make surgery that are so precise? These arms, these robotic arms that take over and do surgeries.
Yeah, but I mean, you mean like completely automated, or you mean just the tools that surgeons still they use?
I mean, there's the surgeon is still doing it, but from the office, and the arms are reaching into the patients and doing it. I saw a video. I'm going to show it
like
to you.
remotely, or just like in there?
Remotely, basically. So they do the things, but it's transmitted to a robotic arm, and then the robot will do it because it's more precise.
These robots don't assist surgeons, they perform the surgery. In 2025, Johns Hopkins SRTH robot performed 8 fully autonomous gallbladder removal operations on pig organs with 100% accuracy, no human input, and all 17 procedural steps performed flawlessly. It spotted ducts, applied clips, responded to voice commands, adapted to dyed tissue, and self-adapted mid-operation. It took just over 5 minutes per procedure, slower than a human, but with smoother movements and fewer errors. Trials in live humans are expected within a decade, paving the way for clinical trials in humans, and the NHS hopes to power 95% robot-operated surgeries by 2035.
Yeah, but they are not there in the.
They're not in the room.
Doesn't seem too ethical from my perspective.
Why?
Because what if there's like an emergency?
Sure, but there's still other people in the room. It's not.
Well,
just,
I guess there are
not
more
just the
doctors, but I guess you could. You know.
I mean, the main doctor does the surgery. I mean, I don't know how the rates are and how well it works, but it seems to work very well because I saw that supposedly it's very, very accurate. So there's a lot of jobs in general. I think it will take over. But then imagining there's going to be also certain chips implanted in your head. What benefits could it have, you know?
A lot of benefits. I think people normally are just more alarmed than anything, but it's just because they don't understand. And it's not that I understand it, but I do know that with every technological advancement, there's always people that see that negative part, but they are unable to see the whole picture.
Yeah.
It is like, sure, the internet, when it came, it probably put a lot of people out of business, but then also it created so many industries. So many, like, whatever was lost, it multiplied in the other industries. It's just true that people are gonna have to specialize and adjust. And for people, that sometimes is not so easy because they are used to the things that they did and the knowledge that they had at the moment. And it's hard, let's say, for somebody that is in an industry for 20 years to suddenly have to completely
adjust.
Yes.
But that's the biggest skill to have, to be able to adjust and to not be so attached to what you've been doing, I think. If you want to survive in the ever-changing world, especially now, since technology is advancing so fast and so much, to be flexible, you know, to adapt to whatever the surrounding is changing.
Yeah. But for example, a lot of people say, oh, we're going to lose our jobs to machines. This has already been happening like a long time. Machines have always taken care of the jobs that people did like manually. This basically also happened in the Industrial Revolution. This thing always happens, but you wouldn't just go and say the Industrial Revolution was bad, and you already know that it brought more good things to society than anything. And that happened with everything, with the digital world, like with how we started to use the computers and so on. And there's always people like saying, no, we're going to lose our jobs to this and that. But it's just like naturally progressing.
It is a natural progress, but as I said, especially when it's in the beginning, there can be areas where people take advantage of. Let's say, oh, you have now Bitcoin, unregulated Bitcoin at the beginning, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. You can have a lot of people trying to scam you, you know. So, but this always happens. So with the good comes the bad, but I think you just have to embrace it.
Yeah, but then if there is an issue, a new industry will emerge, which is what we were talking about. Like, if, like suddenly we are using chips in our mind, and it is
There's viruses.
the not viruses, but maybe there is like a negative effect because somebody could use that to their advantage and to
Which there will be.
there will be, but there will be like a solution to it. It's not like people or humanity are gonna stay just.
Yeah, sure. It's just that I think people try to avoid the consequences about the worst thing happening, no, because then the damage is already done. But I know how you see things. You think sometimes it just has to happen anyway.
Well, a lot of the things we have just, and a lot of the knowledge we only have it because
Of
at
failure.
some point something failed or changed that made us realize that we needed to do something about it. Now it's like we wouldn't have planes if it wasn't because some people
Correct.
crashed on them and died literally, and then it's like, oh, okay, so we made a mistake. We need to like,
Adjust.
we need to adjust, and that's just how it normally happens.
No, I get it. But I guess it's just a bit more serious or sensitive when it comes to your conscious brain and your body and your human being. But that's an extreme case, right? I'm not talking about the product. I'm talking about, I don't know, imagine someone is hacking you into your brain, erasing all the memory or being able to access all the memory. Then you're able to clone. You have robots that can just pretend it's you, go to your bank account, withdraw money. Like, it's just like a stupid
I mean,
made-up
to that
idea.
extent, like if we reach that point, it's gonna be like not in the like near future. It's gonna take some time anyway.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, just for example, the AI, ChatGPT, and everything. Right now, it's like very cool. We just
Ask anything.
Ask
But this is
anything.
like, we don't think anymore so much as we used to.
that is
know.
one issue. That is one issue.
I just
But also,
don't
who
know. I just don't know if it will cause not lower IQ, but it will cause people to actually dumb down
That's what
in
they
the
were
long
saying.
in the long term. Now, also maybe through genetics. Let's say you use your brain less,
Mhm.
and eventually through adaptation in time, human nature just changes, and they become, let's say, dumber overall.
Mhm.
That could happen. I just don't know if it has an effect to it. Let's say if you use your brain more throughout generations and generation where people had to figure out, and if eventually human species in general develop to become smarter.
I don't know, but maybe it's not so much about IQ, but it's more about just the knowledge in general. Because maybe
But this knowledge had to be learned, because AI at the end is just giving you knowledge about all the collective knowledge that we already discovered,
Mhm.
all in one place, basically, when you think about it. And it will give you, based on the data and based on whatever it's taught, the reality of things.
I think it has to do more with the specialization that just, let's say, the human race becoming smarter. I don't think that people in the 19th century were like dumber than us. But the actual ability of the brain to analyze and to work, it probably is the same. It's just that we have already more knowledge and we're able to
Right.
step up on the ladder of knowledge.
I don't know if AI can come up with new ways of thinking or new ideas. It can still think, no? And make its own conclusion based on the data they have.
Well, it's still in a way just programmed into the AI.
But the way a human can think creatively, not just in the creative term in art or whatever, I'm just thinking about coming up with certain ideas and solutions for certain problems in very creative ways.
It's still very far from the human mind. Like the
I
AI
don't
is
know
good.
if the AI is capable of doing that.
I don't think so right now. I don't think they are near to what a human brain is capable of doing, because AI is very good at, for example, gathering information. Like the brain, for example, it's amazing, but also it's funny how we sometimes just forget things, no? But in terms of what you are saying, which is this creative way of thinking, I think for that, from what I've heard, is we're very far from
I'm gonna
that.
test it tonight, see
How?
if it can. I'm just gonna ask ChatGPT a very I'm going to give it a problem and I'm going to ask him to solve it in a way that human have not thought about, and to see what his answer is going to be.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I mean,
trust
we could
so
do
much.
it now.
But with what?
ChatGPT?
No, but what?
We could just ask. Okay, put it on. I have a good question. You know, I'm the master of questions. All my life, 50% of my life is asking ChatGPT questions.
20?
Hey ChatGPT. So you know we have a very strong deficit problem, inflation problem. There's ideas probably that you know that we can solve it, such as less government spending or raising taxes and so on, in order to counter the debt, the national debt, let's say in the US. Can you think about a very creative way on how to solve this problem with a new idea that has never been spoken about and no one ever thought of?
That's a fun challenge. One creative idea that comes to mind could be leveraging the concept of a national talent exchange. Imagine if the government created a platform to attract and connect top global talent in various fields, tech, science, healthcare, arts, and incentivize them to contribute to the economy in exchange for tax benefits or even a share in certain government revenues. This could spark innovation, create new industries, and potentially boost economic growth without, the traditional tax hikes or spending cuts. It would be a bit out of the box, but who knows? Sometimes
That's probably something that somebody already
Did
thought
someone
of.
else thought about this, or did you just really come up with that?
It's not a human.
It's definitely a unique spin on the idea of attracting talent, but I can't guarantee it hasn't been thought of before. There are always variations on the theme of bringing in
It's pretty
talent to boost
creative.
the
Sorry, continue. I was just saying it's pretty creative.
You just give him too much credit. He's not like a human.
Let me continue, ChatGPT.
Absolutely. I'm here for it. It's always fun to bounce around ideas and see where they lead. If you ever want to brainstorm more or dive deeper in anything, just
No, I'm saying like continue with the idea. Can you think about something else than a talents fund? I mean, I kind of like this idea because, don't think has been ever
I don't know
thought
how
of.
that's self-inflation. You're asking him to define a completely economical and social and political system. He's not going to be able to do that.
got it. Let me toss out another creative idea. How about a national digital currency that's tied to a unique value, like a carbon credit system? Basically, every time someone purchases or uses this currency, a portion of the transaction could go towards environmental initiatives, like reducing a national carbon
I
footprint.
don't know. That has nothing
Why
to do with
would people
inflation.
use that? And what does it have to do with inflation? It's just like I'm talking about canceling the,
Baby, at this
the
point-
national debt.
At this point, you're like one of these
All right.
people that
Right.
that are in the news that they are like, I'm gonna marry ChatGPT and I'm not gonna get married
I don't
to a
like
human
this
being.
voice. This
No,
voice.
I didn't
I
choose
find
it.
him very cocky.
Yeah, you told me before. You like the
I like
regular.
the regular voice. That's my ChatGPT. But this voice, he talks a bit like.
I don't know why it changes, but do you remember there was one point where we had the voice and it sounded a bit like, I don't know if it Texan or something.
Yeah, but he didn't manage to get it very southern. I wanted him to have a Texan, Tennessee accent, but it
Yeah.
didn't work. I kind of like the Tennessee accent for all my Tennessee people out there. I don't know, you got something. I know a lot of Americans say that you don't sound the most eloquent because I think I'm sorry to say that, but that's what I heard. They say that people, for instance, American really like British accents because it sounds very educated, and compared to all the accents that exist, and like the southern accent sound
Not
to many people.
Not modern British people.
No, but they say that the southern accent doesn't sound so eloquently smart, I would say. At least that's what I heard. But me personally, I really like it. I would write. No, I don't want to start, but sometimes I just pretend I can speak it, and I do really like it. Mm-hmm.
My mama used to say.
My mama used to say. Yeah, no, I do like it. It's fun. I think it has something. I don't know. It's like it almost sounds like telling a story.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
But it's probably because of the country music which
I
I do
don't
also
know.
like. I do like country music. I'm still thinking about one day I want to go there and go to one of these churches and the gospels or dance. Don't they have this square dance or something?
I
The
don't know.
square dance and
Square
rodeo, like all these cowboy
Oh,
things.
I
I
guess.
like it. Like a ranch and like being on a ranch and milking some cow.
It's always about milking the cows for some reason.
I always want to milk the cows.
You
and
haven't done that. You need to do that.
I've never till now milked a cow.
Till now?
Till
You
now,
haven't?
I still
Okay.
haven't, and I really it's still on my bucket list.
It's not that special, but
It is special. I did always say, I'm not sure if I want to have a cow in my backyard, but I definitely want to have chickens in my backyard. Because then I was thinking, if you have, let's say you have a little family, so you need, because I heard that the chicken lay every 3 days an egg, right?
yeah,
So
I
you
don't
need
know.
kind of a bunch of chicken if you want to have at least, let's say, 4 eggs per day. If you have a family, let's say 1 egg per person or 2 eggs per person, you would have to have 8 eggs, but they only lay every 3 days, which means you need at least for the week, like,
I actually don't know how often they lay eggs.
I think every 2 to 3 days they lay an egg. So you need about 30 chicken. Oh, the
What
other
are
day.
you gonna do with 30 chickens in your backyard?
The other day, we were walking on the street, and there was a man selling a little chicken in the box, no?
Yeah.
And I walked
A
past, and I said, "Baby, can we buy a chicken?"
Yeah, and I was like, no.
And he didn't allow it because we are living in a very small apartment. And I said, "We can leave it on a balcony with like a house."
No.
But yeah.
No way. I'm having 2 dogs and a chicken. No.
In 1 bedroom apartment.
No.
But then I said, okay, once we're gonna live in a house on the beach, we will have a chicken.
Yeah, we can have all the chickens.
We can
that we
have
need.
a couple of chickens.
Yes.
And I don't know what other animals we want, but let's see about that, no?
Yeah, it's nice. I would probably like to have that.
Some chickens.
Yeah, like
I'm just
animals
thinking.
in general.
I'm just thinking about the. I'm just thinking about how practical it would be, because then you have organic eggs from your own chickens.
Yeah.
I would
Sounds
like
good.
to have a farm in reality if I was a good farmer, but
Yeah,
I'm
but that's
not.
a lot of work.
No, that's what I'm saying. If I was a good farmer, and I would actually have a green thumb, which I don't have. I'm really bad with plants. I would love to have a farm and make my own food. But then I also don't care that much enough in order to really learn
do
how
it.
to be a farmer.
Yeah. Anyway,
Are we coming to the end?
we're coming to the end.
Oh, so I guess that's it, guys. The farm, the
We end
Neuralink.
up the.
We can maybe one day have a robot chicken
I guess.
if time advances that fast.
Yeah.
No? It will never die, and it will never give you a chicken flu, a bird. How did I say like these flus? Anyway, guys, it was a pleasure again to have you here around to talk a lot of nonsense, to join the underachievers, because I hope you're doing better out there than we do. As you see, we're just clueless.
I don't know anything.
Okay, guys, it was a pleasure. And for the next time, yeah, definitely gonna respond to one of your comments. Yeah, we'll see you in the next one, and bye. Enjoy.
Adios.
Adios, amigos.